Very good morning to everybody. I hope everyone's feeling well. It's actually nice out here today, meaning over 80. It's funny how you used to think that 80, 90s was way too hot, and now we look forward to it. Once you get used to it, it's not such a bad thing. So let's see. Yes, here it is from Chase. Before we set up, I'll just go ahead and ask this question. Is it possible to have trauma deep in your cells that you are not aware of? Absolutely. That is what healing is. It is said every time you take a breath and there's an emotion on it or any kind of thought on it, that moves deep into your subconscious self. And your subconscious is held and it draws other parts of you that have similar experiences towards it, so it can become quite large. So while we do have consciousness, we have a subconscious where a lot of our patterns that we're attempting through our soul to heal. And it can be not only trauma, but emotional catharsis, a lot of different things. And then we wonder why we magnetize some diseases to us. So a pattern moves through your aura, and however long it can take, if it isn't noticed by working with patterns or working on healing, it'll get to where it shows up on the physical. And that is how it all works. So that's what healing is about, is as you work on things that are coming up in your world daily, sometimes you're going to hit on one of those. And it's going to take you into maybe 2 to 10 different healings, but it'll be gone. And that piece of you won't have that distortion held in your subconscious anymore. And the more you do it, and the more you do it, the freer you are, and the more your consciousness raises and becomes at a quicker spin, and the higher light you become. So there you go in a really quick explanation, but thank you for the question. Let's see. And she's also offering happy full moon lunar eclipse tomorrow. Let's see. Yes. Good morning, Annick and Barbara Ward, and Carol, and Chase. We actually found out yesterday that one of the women who were in my first healing class passed on Sunday. So yesterday we were all making sure everybody was contacted. And so we'll all wish many blessings to Luce. Her name was Mary, and she felt so much light that she legally had her name changed to Luce. And she was a very beautiful heart and did a lot of work for a lot of people in her lifetime through energetics, what she learned with me, and did yoga and different things, and worked with autistic children. So she had a wonderful life. And it was one of those things that snuck up and got her rather quickly. So we do kind of always want to be aware, because you just never know what can be whirling around inside you. That is why sometimes we have emotions and we don't know what they're for, you know? So I'm going to go ahead and pull this card since they're in my hands. And we'll all be grateful we're alive and breathing today and are able to continue to experience our light, expand our light, and know more of God and all his angels. Well, I swear, I always say I've never seen this card before, but maybe it's because I don't sit and look at them every day. Let me go. The eyes of the heart. Do you remember ever seeing that one? I don't. Today I perceive the real beauty of every person I meet with the eyes of my heart. I see behind the personality and focus on the energy of love that dwells beneath the surface. I am filled with wonder at the presence of God in every one of us. The eyes of the heart allow me to see the divine, shining everywhere. And we all had a little laughter yesterday. Luce was one. Is whenever we had something that's real important, she would take her hand, lock it in, and she would never forget it. So when we were thinking of her yesterday, we remembered, lock it in. So if anyone wants to take that thought on, and she was very good with it. If she locked it in, she always remembered it. So let's call in Mother and Father into this session, knowing that I've already created a protective energy and a shield around us so that only light beings can come within our walls. And take a breath and know Mother and Father are ever present as we ask for the phylum of angels to come and to be present for us and the ascended masters as we welcome the light beings of the universe to come and to sit with us and to share. Yeah. And as we say our mantra today, I am the soul, I am that light divine, I am the love, I am the will, I am fixed design. And take a breath. So the heart is a study of all of itself. Excuse me. They're mowing out there, so I apologize for the allergies. But I don't know if any one person would ever know all there is to know about the heart. Certainly it's filled with feelings, and I once had a person at one of my retreats, and I had a gentleman come who was I forget what he called himself, but he would sing songs from God to help people then take their song home, and by repeatedly singing it, would get healing from it. So there was this one lady who was very much in control of everything, or wanted to be, or acted that out, let's say. So it was very clear to everyone she had issues around control. And when it was her turn the night, his name was Scott Grace. How about that? And he named his daughter Grace. So, all interesting facts, I'm sure, for you. But she wanted it on like. She just wanted to learn to like herself, learn to like others. Isn't that an interesting thought from someone apparently who was very controlling, but could feel the numbness, the lack of like in her world? And I wish I don't have those songs. They're somewhere in everything. But it was, you just bawled your eyes out hearing the things that was said to her as God sang through Scott. And just that word like never just means that to me anymore. It's like, yeah, do you like yourself? It's an interesting question. And if you do, what do you like about yourself? You care about others. But the big question is, do you like that you care about yourself? I think in our world today, so many other things have become the importance of how we must live to have normalcy that we forget about this experience of humanness, spirit that we are. What's your most favorite thing that you like about yourself? Contemplate. What do you think? Like, it's different from love. And here's a message from Chase. My mom used to say, trust your heart. It knows what your mind has not yet figured out. And I would say that's true. That's why your heart is a map on your blueprint, actually, for you to discover all there is about love first. But remember, we each have a different journey. It's not going to be the same for everybody. My journey about love and the heart has certainly been different than maybe some of yours. Every lifetime you come here, you've already decided when you met with your teachers in heaven what you're going to need to still learn this life. And if you've been an ascended being before, they're going to be very deep and very pixelated, if I could try to describe it that way. And find yourself tied up with it for a little while until you finally get to I get what this is about. And good morning, Teresa Ford. Glad you're back. 11:11. How powerful is that? And Marby. Teresa, you're never too late for here. We know time is. Sometimes if I need to talk too long, then we have a time warp and we get everything in. I don't believe there's ever a lateness. My session this morning, it felt like we talked for 3 hours and it was an hour. So you just have to understand that as you grow, time becomes your friend and you can learn to like time instead of get angry that, it's too short or it's too long. It is what you make of it. It's how you perceive. See, the mind becomes Chase, so it lives inside your heart. Yes, there's many people in the world that intelligence, it's all in here. But what you really want to have is wisdom, which is inside your heart. So what the wisdom does is maybe take some of the things you've learned intelligently and maneuvered them into a loving way to be wisdom. But a lot of intellectual things you'll never really use in the way that it's thought of in the beginning. Because the wisdom is with God. And a lot of hellos, hello. Yeah. And my suggestion is wisdom has gotten me where I am. And that's in happiness and peace and harmony. And to enjoy watching the goslings run in the yard with the geese at night. World is an interesting place right now. And certainly we can look and see, and everyone will be different, what's light and what's dark to them. And that's the most fascinating place, is that we are still not in enough of a oneness to all have the same kind of awareness together. Other dimensions, like the 6th, 7th, and 8th dimension, they're in harmony, they're in oneness. So much so that they don't even need the identification of the self anymore. They're of a group. And boy, it's hard to even think of that happening here in America, and having us give up identity and all that we believe we stand for as an individual. And yet, perhaps the more we become into the harmony of godliness, we will understand. And I think this is what the monks and, the monks and people that are very into God understand that We are one. We're all the same. And our heart, most importantly, all has a beat. And when we can say, yes, our heart beats differently than another, it is a level of separation. No matter how much, uh, for myself, I don't want that to be so. But there are still people who are in control and want their heart to be a certain way, and all we can do is love them. We must always love the light that is and begin to let them feel our love in our heart, and hopefully we'll become part of the whole family again in light. So I believe it's the journey that the earth is on right now as it's wanting to go forward on its ascension to become free. And is ascension being free? Well, we've all heard different things about ascension. In ascension, you are free to feel and live and see with all you have attained. That means your sight will have become God's sight, and your heart will have the beat of not just God, but Mother within it as we work on here every day. And it's unique. Unique still because there aren't that many people here upon earth that choose that way, because there's those who still are in control, who need control and feel their survival is in control. And when you give that up and begin to let God be your partner, and you walk forward and begin to see how much safer you feel knowing that you're not alone, and how frightened you were when you thought, well, this is all up to you. Not only do you have your heart, my friend Chase, but you have God, and you have Mother, and then you have the team of angels and all the ascended masters. It is a family. It's a unification of truth that begins to work in harmony. And the chakra system becomes a unified system that expands out to become one of the whole experience of Earth and the world, which is huge. And that's a whole nother level of peace and harmony that you then become a part of. So as we all move in all of our own time, uh, where we are in each moment and how much peace we are able to feel and experience is imperfection, because that's what the wonderment of the journey is. When we get there, how we get there is in our uniqueness, which to me, unique is amazing. It's an amazing thing to know that each of you, of us, has our own unique way of breathing, perceiving, speaking, sharing, loving, and yet it's all those unique things that make it so powerful. Because then we share, and one grows from another. And then the whole platform of the experience of Earth that lies around it and within it. You know, some people only know of the chakras that are on the body. Well, what about the 352 chakras to God throughout every chakra all around you? Not to speak of the interdimensional chakras. There are so many parts that it might become overwhelming to some people, and yet drives other people to want to know more, and ignite a passion. And then when you go to become your Atom Katam field, each chakra has 144,000 flames. Think about that. How bright that is. 144,000 flames. Of unique colors, they're not the same. So you become a rainbow. And how do you all feel about rainbows in the sky? It's like an illumination of uniqueness and peace and harmony all together, which is what you each become. Isn't it interesting? It's like these beads here are to represent the rainbow. There's all kinds of different colors if you can really see it. And the highest ray of God, the 15th ray, is rainbow ray. Who knew, right? We heard for a while, oh, the next level's coming, the next level's coming. And then it turns out to be the rainbow. So, there's uniqueness, and yet there's a union. One generates the other. So, there we go. I want to pick one more card. And then you have the simplicity of God. Right? Let's see what it says. We have a deva and a fairy and a young girl. Today I choose to simplify my life. As I do so, my burdens lighten. I release my ego's need to understand, to prove, and to control. Instead, I undertake every task with an open, humble heart. Seeing through the eyes of a child, I discover life in all its wonder and simplicity. As the complications and chaos of the mind fall away, I remember that I am one with the light. Very profound. Yeah. And there are fairies and devas around every one of you. Well, of course, and the angels, have been coming around you for now for a while if they hadn't before. So life is, Shailene's here from Chincoteague. One day we were working, and across the way we could see a tall white angel standing on the beach. It was very unique. So let's see what Teresa says today. I had an epiphany this morning. For years I believed in the 7 sacred directions, with directions of center being self. I'll be honest, I haven't ever heard of 7 sacred directions. Let's see, you are part of the sacred directions, north, south, east, west, mother below, and father above. You are the center, the point that is defined by the directions. The movement comes from you. I see. So, it does make sense that the self would be the divine director, if we could call it that. Because you're a choice. And of all the things we have in the world and all the situations that tells us that we don't, the most important realization is that you are always a choice. Okay, Shane, you're still speaking here. Let me get out. So we are the movement that gives meaning, always. And yet, it's that choice of how you choose to move and what you empower the meaning to be. So those are the things that you learn as you work through yourself and understand what makes you unhappy and where your emotions take control, and then where the ego takes control. And then when you begin to surrender and really understand the profoundness of surrendering and letting go, it's just another whole level of experience the light and beginning to hold the light, not only for yourself but for others as you become that which people see, and the world changes. So we are all here from Switzerland, Chincoteague, wherever you are in America, all over the world. And yet, when we come here, we're all one, working to remember the truth, to remember the purity, the love that does come from within us, that Mother and Father does shower upon us. And remember that we have choice. We determine how long we want to choose to be separate. We determine how long and when we want to choose to like ourselves. And like the way the sun touches us and the earth supports us. You know, when we go into the cabin of Mother deep in the earth, she always has a cornucopia filled with whatever might be that which you need to be fulfilled with. From the first day I went and I saw that, I thought, how remarkable that to come to Mother and that whatever I may need or want from that distortion where I am, I can reach within there. And there it is. And more than likely, I discover it's not really what I need. And once I don't need it, then I understand I don't want it. But what was always there was her love and her acceptance of wherever I'm at. And now which I carry for her of wherever you are. For we are always all at one. We just forget when we choose to have tantrums. I remember my daughter when she used to have her tantrums. I think all mother and daughters have that experience for the experience of the woman within to grow. And yet today we're very close. She's coming for Mother's Day. And spending 4 days, that's very unusual. You can remember the last time she came. So, what a great time this is. I have to be honest, I'm not into the moon. I travel to the moon every month to see the masters and to be with them. You can do that 3 days before to 3 days after. But I have not gotten into the different meanings of when they come. I know the new moon is when you ask for that which you want. And I did that, and how I met Douglas, and my whole life changed, and will soon be 30 years. And I do understand that it's a lot about what this mind thinks, that we want to stop that trivial creation of what our heart desires is that which we want to bring into our world. The mind can get lost. And what our thoughts do is they get clothes on them and go out and travel and bring back more of the same. And the thought you had last week is now here and it's a tribe. And then the next week it's a whole city. So we have to learn to stop doing that. We have to be aware of what we're thinking. And the empowerment we're giving to it. Oh, wow, that sounds good. Maybe I'll do that. No, you want to be the love. You want to see the love. You want to feel the love. You want to like how it feels to be you. And you want to learn, if you need to like first people, you want to learn what does it mean to like people. I think the greatest distortion I've discovered over the years is there is no likeness for people. There's either you like them, or I'm not wanting to use that word, you tolerate them, or you have to have them. We have an obsession with having to have people in a certain way in our life. We call it an attachment. Attachments are one of the greatest dangers, I believe, in our movement of, if I can call it that, in our journey of evolution to become enlightened and eventually ascended, as we become attached not only to people but to things. And when we begin to learn to let things go and to not have to have it be a certain way, which I guess we could also say is a level of control, then we have achieved something. Then we are beginning to be free. All these different levels are not so simple that you could just go one for every day and you're all done. No, they take time and study and introspection inside yourself. Like the word like. Maybe for the next week, everyone might want to think at some point every day, what does that word like mean? Who in my world do I just like? And you may find out you don't really like anybody. You put up with people. Or you may find that you like a lot of people. But then you ask the next question, well, what do I do with that? How do I act with that? And what response within me does it bring? You want to learn how and what makes you tick. You want to know why. Why is a great answer during your evolution. I have books and books and books of the writing to myself that my teachers would bring up for me to understand. As you would think, I'm learning about me, but yet you're learning about the experience of a human consciousness. How does it work? How does it respond? If this is how a human consciousness is, well, then what helped develop it to be that way? And that, my friend Chase, is then how you get back to finding the catharsis that is lying awaiting within the cells to create a storm. And we must begin to become at peace in discovering those storms because we have the magic to transform them, and that is the love we know within our heart. Because the love of mother and father is magical. And I've seen it take many things and just flatten it straight out and have it evaporate. And as long as we're giving something power, we do not believe that can happen. And we continue to empower it, and all of a sudden another little bud will go and start, and another little cancer or something will go. No, we don't want that anymore. We don't need and require that to be so. I do remember one time a lady who had been diagnosed came to me, and immediately you could hear her talk the anger of the child to me. And I said, well, we need to heal that part. There's nothing wrong with me. And she had a fit, literally had a fit. And if that's what you think we're going to do and sit here and play children, I'm leaving. And I don't know what happened with her. But I can say to you, you must embrace and love that part of you to let it have the magic of what true love is and to be free. And that's all the journey of how you go and get to it. There's so many different ways. Yeah. We let it go. We let it go. And yes, forgiveness is a big part. We must learn to forgive ourselves, and we must learn to forgive that who we blame. Blame is another huge attachment that people give to why they're how they are, because they don't want to own it for themselves. Yes, I've been through all of them with people. Blame is big. We have to learn to take responsibility. Because when we do, then we can understand how God can come in and take care for us, and love for us, and transform for us. Because He has vowed to always love us. And He is always there. He doesn't mind coming in and sitting within the heart. Master DK at his ashram, which I did take everyone to, I think. I don't know if everyone here went with us. But he has a room where you can go in, and mother and father are there. And they found that the gift everyone wants most is to fly. So they give you the gift of flying around the room. But it is to walk away with, did I receive what I want? Think about it. Would that be what you would want? And it was found, no, that wasn't what they wanted. And you could write your own little paragraph to yourself to find out what would you have really wanted. So it's really an investigation, discovering who you are and how you feel and what's next and where you're going and where are those little cells inside of you that are screaming that you're not wanting to hear. And usually sometimes it's people who can't hear because they're screaming so loud and they've damaged some of those tissues. They don't want to know. But you must become the inquisitor. I want to know. I want to love it. I want to transform it. I want to be free to be me. And then as soon as we become free and get to be me, we're going to start the journey of becoming the group, becoming group consciousness, all that feel the same way, because you begin to have harmony when you're together. Yeah, like we're a group, we're harmony. We're becoming more every time. It's not a vicious plan. It's just what happens because we want to choose to be around like-minded people. So we can feel that we can have permission to be who we are, to feel how we are, and to love in the same way. And like Teresa shared, and we all learned something from her today. I share, and Chase offers a question, and we share. We're all learning as we come together. And that's what's wonderful and beautiful. And why we're all really here, especially at this time. We've all raised our hand and said, Father, I'm ready to go back home, and I will help. And that's the truth. Today I discover my greatest truth is within me. It is a divine force that whispers from my inner self. I listen to this voice closely, putting aside my controlling mind. In this way, I find all the answers I'm looking for. I am now in harmony with myself, and I welcome the love of God, which is the truth that will guide me towards my fullest, most shining radiance. Now look at how our conversation brought us around to the card that came. She looks beautiful and radiant with God's light coming down through her crown and out through her hands. You all know how that happens, right? The light comes down through your crown. You take it down into your heart, up over your shoulders, and out your hands, the head, heart, the hand. Yep. Something you can practice. Call the light down through the crown. Take it down into the depths of the heart. Bring it up over your shoulders and out your palms. Amazing. So I'm going to pull one more card. Oh no, this is fascinating. Attaining peace. I have never seen this card either. Oh, I think the Lord prints them up. But it looks very peaceful. Let's see what it says. Today I turn within to find the source of my experiences. There I find the peace that comes from seeking truth. I understand that the riches I discover within myself have a greater value than all the wealth of the outside world. Step by step, I continue my spiritual quest. Little by little, I free myself, rising ever higher and attaining true inner peace. There you go. They look like doorways to me. I don't know what they might look like to you. But again, that's exactly what we've been talking about. You know, the masters have books that are out step by step, so I always chuckle every time I see it written in print. I continue my spiritual quest. Little by little, I free myself, rising ever higher and attaining true inner peace. So may it be so for you. Put all these back into the little box till we need some of them the next day. For I know that it is peaceful here for all of you who are still with me. And so if you've been here today and haven't hit the like button, please do so. And I didn't get to whatever I was planning, so we'll just know it was all on a perfection. So I send much love to you, and again, we'll send love to Luce wherever she is in her excitement of her journey. I'm sure she's sitting there looking for Jesus, ready to ask him all kinds of questions about what life is really like there. And as we talked about that yesterday, we all chuckled because we were all sure that's exactly what she was doing. She was such a firelight of passion. So let's see if you take the time to ask yourself, what do you like? And what do you love? And who are you really? What's the makeup of what's making you this moment? You'll be discovered. You'll be surprised maybe of what you discover. So I will see you on Monday. Hope you have a great weekend. With the eye of Horus, what are we going to look closer at and see? Who's to know? Not you or me. I won't know until the time comes. Believe me or not, it's just how it does. Many blessings, everybody. May God bless you.